straight people of Reddit, when and how did you realize that you like the opposite sex? 5th grade. This new girl transferred to our school from somewhere else, and we ended up sitting next to each other in computer class. We were playing some silly game and trying to help each other, but neither of us was doing great. Something happened in the game that was really silly and we both started laughing. Watching her smiling and laughing like that was the start of my first real crush. And that's when I knew I liked girls. This is honestly so sweet. When I was 10 and found an underwear magazine in the mail. Yes, before the internet, underwear models in catalogs got me through puberty. Poison Ivy and Batman and Robin. Weird, but it did something for me. Weird. Straight female here, and she did something for me too. I feel like most girls look at women the way I suspect gay men do. They can look at a chick and be like, she is hot, but if you put a vagina in front of me I wouldn't want my face anywhere near it and it would put me off completely. Edit. Check my phone and there's at least 4 dudes telling me, same for dudes. Same for some straight men. Though I suspect it's not as common. Not trying to get near any dicks, but sometimes I see a dude with a jawline and A+ double and I'm like, I get it. Ryan Reynolds. We all get it. When I was 4 I saw a photo of Fabio. What followed was an exchange that went something like this. Mo monsieur, is that a man? Asterisk. Looking at his thighs. Asterisk, he looks like a tree. Yes. His name is Fabio. I like him a lot. I didn't know what sex was when I first saw the movie Labyrinth. But I knew I wanted it with David Bowie. Same for me but Jennifer Connelly. Same for me but Hoggle. One day in 5th grade one noticed a lot of the girls in my class had boobs. Guys, is it just me or is BB like really cool? Otta. The girls started developing breasts and I couldn't look away. 40 years later, and I'm still hypnotized by boobies. This is accurate. If I ever get to talking too much, the wife whips out on the girls. And I'm utterly transfixed, incapable of doing anything but staring and softly mumbling. I had a crush on a girl in kindergarten that stayed through 7th grade. I didn't have any explanation or reason behind the feelings in kindergarten. I just knew I wanted to be around her and I wanted her attention. I don't remember ever not knowing that I liked girls in a different and stronger way than I felt about any boy. What happened 7th grade? He lost his teaching job. The movie Titanic. During that one drawing scene, I put Titanic at the top of my Christmas list the year it was released on VHS. At the time my parents no doubt assumed it was because of that scene. Years later it came up somehow, and my mom offered her new, and by that time more plausible, theory that it was just the first really adult movie I'd ever seen. And I appreciated the maturity of it. In actuality I just really enjoyed watching the boat sink. Edit. Wow. First silver. Thanks. When the falling guy hits the propeller. Carrot, 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 dang. Kindergarten. Girl had her hair in a braid. I noticed it looked a certain way, but I didn't have the word to describe it. I asked my teacher to help me. Braid? She asked. No, I said. We went through 4 or 5 more words. After each no, she'd ask me to explain more. Eventually she figured out the word. Oh, she said. You think it's pretty? Yeah, I said. She's pretty. That's actually adorable. Probably around 5 or 6 when I got my first kiss on a field trip. Had a crush on her all the way through to graduation in HS. Never single at the same time though. Ended up just being friends. Go find her up. I'm happily married now. We are still friends too. Going on 33 years. Go find her. No need to find her. I know where she lives. We are still friends and I'm happily married. Go get your lobster. Remember the scene where Catwoman straddles Batman after she overpowers him and then licks his mouth and Batman returns? Yeah, coincidentally. Looking back I now realize it's probably one of the reasons why I'm one kinky bastard nowadays. Wow, totally forgot about that. Jesus, that was hot. There's a moment in the Two Towers when Aragorn comes busting through double doors at Helm's Deep. Yeah, that moment. Monsieur. He's got a pretty big sword. It wasn't a gradual realization for me. I was sitting, bored, in a 6th grade class, when I thought, I wonder if I still think girls are gross, followed immediately by, I wonder if I am gay. So I imagined myself kissing Mike, a hot piece of 6th grade male ass on my right. No, that was disgusting. Then I imagined myself kissing Clarissa, on my left. And this started the most intense and all-consuming crush I've ever had. Or ever will have. It was fucking magical. It's so strange to me to read stories about people who didn't have crushes until 6th grade or puberty. I knew I liked girls by the time I was 6. There used to be a website called whitehouse.com. It was not a site dedicated to the White House. It was porn. My friends and I quickly exited the window in shock. But I thought, I liked that. Holy shit. When I was 10, I innocently pulled this up for my whole family to see right before our summer trip to DC. Yeah, it was not about the White House. My 8th grade English teacher sent us there for an assignment. I think she was going for whitehouse.org. I was pretty young, like 5 or 6, something like that. My parent put on Cartoon Network but didn't notice when its runtime or whatever was over and the channel switched to showing movies. One of the movies had this nude scene in it. I don't remember much of what it was about. I just remember there was a naked lady tied up to a chair. Anyways, the moment I saw that lady's boobs, I was like, yep, I gotta get my hands on a pair of those. Late night Howard the Duck. My first hits were duck breasts. Edit. Am girl and not a furry. Would be a good reason, though. My sister had Spice Girls on VHS. I was very interested in that movie. Embarrassing story incoming. I noticed that movie had brief nudity listed on the VHS box. Being a teenage boy and something involving Spice Girls and any nudity meant I had to watch the whole thing. Turns out the brief nudity was a split-second shot of male asses. Ruined my whole night. Which scene specifically? When Posh tries on the little black Gucci dress. Or when Posh tries on the little black Gucci dress. How the fuck did you know? In grade 4, we had this really hot social studies teacher. One time, she had the class do jumping jacks at the start of class for some reason. All dem jiggles. I remember looking at my friend beside me as this was happening. And we just nodded at each other from the joy of the scene that was before us. No prompting was required. We just knew that we both liked the ladies. My geography teacher, I constantly had questions about my homework, just to be near her. Like two distant shores, our love is an isthmus. When I was a kid and all the other boys in my class went through the "ew girls, cooties, no girls allowed" phase, I remember thinking, but that's stupid. Girls are pretty. We should want to be with them, monsieur. Right there with you. I remember telling my brother I had a crush on a girl in kindergarten. He told me to ask her out and get her something nice. So I got her a 25-cent ring from a supermarket and asked her out at recess. She ran away from me though. As a girl that ran away from a plastic ring in 1st or 2nd grade. We can be shy too. Hope your feelings weren't hurt too bad. Wait, Gizmodo gave a girl a 25-cent plastic ring and she ran away from hi monsieur. 2nd chance at life ran away from a boy that gave her a plastic ring around the same age. Gasp, could it be? Extra twist, they're married but don't know each other's Reddit accounts. The morning after having gay sex. Lucky you didn't get pregnant. Pregante. Pregnant. I read somewhere on Reddit that a guy didn't know if he'd like it. But he figured better try it just to be sure. Was giving his boyfriend fellatio and said he instantly knew he did not like doing it. But he wasn't going to stop in the middle of it for the other guy's sake. Holy shit, this happened to one of my friend's friends in college. He went to a different college than me in PA. One of the friends he made there was super weird and socially awkward and did exactly this. Left a party with a guy. Blew him in his car. Came back to the party white as a sheet telling people, not gay. Definitely not gay. Didn't believe it until I visited for a weekend and the guy confirmed the story himself. I can't remember what started it all, but when I was 3 years old I got caught kissing a girl under the pews at church during service. Like, we were kissing a lot. It's one of my earliest memories. Lol. P.S. I got in trouble. That's 'cause you're supposed to kiss priests at that age, not girls. Not Catholic, but that did just crack me up. Lol. Never had a realization, just always did I guess. Yup. I did have a phase where I wondered whether I was bi or something. But then I realized that men turned me off. So, yeah, completely straight. Men don't turn me off, they don't turn me on. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, painted vans were a thing. People would buy a panel van and get someone to paint a garish, extravagant scene on it. X-wings, pterodactyls, dragons, etc. Sometimes all on the same van. My sexual awakening happened when one of those vans happened to drive past and the mural was of a topless barbarian woman with a broadaxe posing against a background of an exploding volcano under a storming sky, with lightning and fire all around. I was about 13. This is the correct answer. When I was 4, I was obsessed with Star Trek. My reason? Because I was in love with Spock. Why did I love him? His ears and his logic. Ever since, I'm attracted to really smart men and oftentimes ones with features most women don't find attractive. It was data for me. But somehow I ended up with a Riker, bearded, look-alike. Probably had my sexual awakening the same time as anyone that grew up in the 80s. Gayer. Straight. David Bowie has Jareth in Labyrinth. Edit. Thanks for the silver. Just joined Reddit a couple days ago. I love the positivity of this community. David Bowie stands alone as a sexual icon. One's own personal sexuality is irrelevant. I specifically remember in first grade one realized that boys and girls were different and I liked girls. I had no idea what sex was at the time. So that's interesting. Not sure what it even was that I liked. I remember having girlfriends in kindergarten. Had no idea what I was doing. I just remember always loving the ladies. I've always liked girls. Even in kindergarten I had a crush on a girl. It's always been a part of me. That's why whenever I hear some dolt say being gay is a choice I laugh. What you like is what you like. There's no choice, they're emo. Yeah, I often wonder about those people. Like, did they at some point deeply consider all options and then choose to be hetero? Because I just knew which I liked. That's why it's really questionable whether those people are all that straight. If they feel like it's a choice and they could just choose to like the same sex if they want, then they're probably not as straight as they say. I think it's more that you choose to act on whatever urges you may have. Whether those urges are directed towards a person of the same sex or a different sex might not be up to you. I always think about it like I can't control my feelings but I can control my actions. But I think it's pretty awful to try to suppress something so integral to your person as your sexuality. I don't think you should choose not to act on your urges when the only factor in that choice is the gender of the person. That's not gonna make you anything but miserable in the end. Remember that lesbian scene from Wild Things? I thought you meant Where the Wild Things Are and I was extremely confused. You mean the movie that traumatized all of us with Kevin Bacon's dad dick. Kevin Bacon's dad dick bacon. FTFY. I think my first memory is when in kindergarten I followed this girl around the tables. I liked her, so I guess that's how. In first grade computer class, I walked into class and attempted to sit next to this girl. By attempted I mean I missed the chair and landed on my backside. She laughed, but it wasn't a mean laugh. It was a cute laugh. I continued and failed to sit in that chair for the remainder of class. She became my first girlfriend and wife. We got married by the big oak tree in the playground. I don't think the marriage is legal because I'm pretty sure the 7-year-old pastor wasn't ordained or a pastor. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.